Hey everybody, what's going on? What I was seeing in the pre-shuffle was about needing to be in touch enough with yourself to know what the right way is to proceed right now. There can be something going on where it feels difficult for you to really honor your sense of inner balance and what you feel is right. You can be at a bit of a crossroads. You can be in some type of situation where you're trying to figure out the next steps, and it looks like there's encouragement for you to take some time to really think about this, to think about what you're doing, to make sure that the steps that you're taking are deliberate. We are starting off with 6 of Cups and 7 of Cups. It can be a time of a lot of mixed feelings. This can even be stuff from like deep roots, deep past that's being drudged up right now. The word homeopathic is coming through. I'm looking at Aries and I'm also looking at Saturn. So we have the Emperor and we also have the World. Maybe there's something about the past that you're going to reference that can help you clear something up presently. There can also be something that you're looking into that you're trying to figure out, but it feels like I feel like you're connecting with something that's not happening right now. It's something that did happen in the past. It has some link with some experience that you're having now, and it may also have answers, but it may be something that's still not clarified yet. For some of you, there can be stuff about your family that you're finding out. So maybe there's something like ancestral that this is connected with too. That can kind of be a side note that's connected with the energy. Yeah, this is a really interesting thing to be seeing. It's like working on something and really showing up and putting in the energy, but having like a lot of different feelings about this in a way where it can feel like I don't just feel one way about this. There are lots of different things that I'm feeling about this. I'm still showing up, but there's a lot of different stuff that I'm feeling about this. And it can be something that feels like it's difficult to take apart right now. And you can even want some time to really reflect on this. Because I feel like there's something that you've been doing for a long time. And I am seeing you show up, but it's kind of like confused about what exactly you're drawing on the canvas right now. And like how you feel about what you're drawing on the canvas right now. And even though this is something that you can have a lot of connections to this, and there can be a lot of familiarity there, and this can be something where you have the muscle memory there, something is going up that feels like you're trying to sort the way that you feel about this to the point where you can feel like, okay, fine, I'm finally done sorting this. But I'm looking at Knight of Pentacles, looking away from the world, and it's giving this feeling of like class not being over. So this thing that you're working through here, if Knight of Pentacles were looking at the world, it would feel like I'm doing this work in order to complete what needs to be completed, even like karmically speaking, energetically speaking. Doing the assignments, completing the assignments completing that course. But because Knight of Pentacles is looking away from the world, it feels like not doing the work that's meant to be being done, and it feels like not completing the course either. And it feels like the reason why this is happening is because of wanting to avoid having to go into how one really feels about what's going on, and it feeling kind of like a confusing thing that's happening right now, and wanting to avoid processing that and making sense of it, maybe because of the conclusion that one is going to come to. So there can be a weird kind of like unconscious avoidance of dealing with something on the emotional front, because of knowing that if it is dealt with, the clarity is going to come, and then what that is going to have to mean, what that means, the implications of that, there may be a desire here to actually avoid that. So it's like staying in this kind of confused state about things, even though it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel comfortable. And I think there's also a desire to make sense of this, but I think it's showing that there's a desire to make sense of this, but things are being done to not take a closer look at this, actually to pretty much like avoid and go in the opposite direction of dealing with this. So it's like both of these things that are happening. So there is this internal desire to analyze things and to make sense, but then as far as physically what's being done, it's like a total avoidance of taking the time to reflect and break this down and make sense of it. And there can even be an awareness too of, it would be best for me to take the time and reflect on this and make sense of it, which would give me a clear sense of direction moving forward. But then the way that one is investing their energy, utilizing their energy, it's doing the opposite. It's like blocking that from happening, essentially. The reason being is because there can be an awareness subtly that if this actually ends up being processed, that stuff is going to have to be faced that's been being avoided, and it means it's not all going to be like pretty and sunshine and rainbows, because I see something that's going to have to be addressed, that it may just be like really unpleasant to address that. And there can be a desire to keep things light and fluffy and not have to go into the depths of this. But it's weird because I'm seeing there simultaneously be like a desire for clarity and to understand, and a desire to understand self as it relates to this situation that you have, that you're in right now. And also wanting to be standing where you're meant to be standing and making moves that align with that, but then it feels like I'm doing something else though. So maybe there's like not a deeper reflection on like why we're doing what we're doing here, and that's just allowing this cycle to endlessly continue, when really it feels like something has been, like, you're meant to have graduated, and this feels like not graduating from the cycle, like the work is not being done. And again, like, I'm seeing why it is. It feels very much like the capacity is there, the ability is there for you to gain clarity on this, but I think that you may not want the clarity because of what that's going to mean, and you may be avoiding an ending here. You may be avoiding closure here of what this is actually going to do, because I get this, like, I don't know if consternation would be the right word. The way that this Knight of Pentacles looks, it's like a furrowed brow and just like looking down, kind of avoiding making eye contact with the homework that's in front of you, because of what that's going to mean to complete the assignment and then where you're going to go after that. And you could just be doing everything except that, but there's this feeling within you of knowing that you should be doing the assignment. But I feel like it's going to burst a bubble for you to do the assignment energetically that needs to be done here. And that can just be something where you don't want to face. Like, you may be still kind of in a little bit of a a place that's not grounded in reality surrounding this situation. And yeah, it may just not be a bubble that you want to burst right now. I'm seeing Aries, I'm hearing Scorpio, and I'm seeing Virgo here. The thing is that I see you as being somebody that's like very deliberate and intentional when it comes to what you do. And I think you know that you're not being intentional here. Well, I'm seeing you intentionally avoiding something. But as far as you being like deliberate, it's kind of like I know that the homework assignment is there, but I'm making a conscious effort to avoid doing it because I don't want to have to complete the course and like basically learn the lesson that's going to be learned, because I think it may be a lesson where you're like, I don't want to have to face that. I don't want to have to come to reality here in this instance. Because it's sad. This reading makes ultimately so much sense to me. Basically, what this is knowing that there's energetic coursework that needs to be done, having it feel heavy emotionally. You can be processing a lot of feelings right now, and also too, you can know that if you were to do the work emotionally in front of you, it feels like it's going to conclude something, and that maybe you may not want that to be yet. So you can just be prolonging this by avoiding, but then there can also be this nagging feeling within you of like, you're like going the wrong way right now. It's like trying to go backwards through a course where you're only supposed to go forward. And I feel like this Knight of Pentacles is giving a lot of energy. I'm seeing the brow furrowed. It can be like, I didn't want it to be like this. I'm seeing a stubborn energy with this. I'm seeing it be like, I don't feel like I'm in control of what's going on here. It feels kind of like I didn't choose this course and I didn't choose this assignment and I didn't want to have to be going through this. And now I'm going to have to face stuff that I don't want to have to be facing. And this is upsetting to me and I wanted to keep it light and fluffy. It's just like all of this that's coming up right now. Some of you, there's something about history repeating itself too. That can be something as well. And I think overall you can feel like if you have to be real about this and you have to face this, that it's going to burst a bubble, that you may be doing everything you possibly can to like not go that deep into the energy. So Saturn is coming because Saturn is like the realist energy here in 3D that's going to make you face the truth. And can be a cold, hard slap energetically is the energy of Saturn, but it's because it's like disciplined and that's what's best for you. And this is how you learn and how you evolve and how you grow. But I think this is one of those times where it's like rather wanting to be in a space that's not totally reflective of the reality of this situation, because of not wanting to have to face the reality of this situation, because then you're going to have to come to terms with something that you don't want to accept. And that's ultimately what's going on within the energy. So even though you can be in a state that feels kind of confusing right now, you are deliberately keeping yourself in that state that feels kind of confusing in order to avoid the deeper emotions and feelings and awareness and knowledge that is present within the cycle. And it can also be confusing too, because you can have good memories and you can also have something that's going on now that's not like that. And that can feel kind of like, how do you hold space for all of those different things? Like, how do I hold space for there being enjoyment, there being connection, there being fun, there being good memories, and there also being a reality right now that feels utterly like your heart dropping to your feet. So I think overall, this doesn't feel like you need a sense of direction. You know what the assignments are. They're literally right in front of you. It just feels like right now skipping class so you don't have to do them, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. If you don't want to process this, you don't have to process this. It's not going to go away until you process it, and you're going to stay in this loop until you do process it. But there's no agenda, as like your agenda is the only agenda. If you want to look away from this, if you want to turn a blind eye to this, you don't want to take a closer look at this, I don't think anything is going to force you to. But I think that you're going to end up getting tired of being in this state where there's a lack of clarity and you don't want to be in that place anymore. And I think that's when you're going to feel motivated to be like, okay, fine. Like, what did you want to teach me through this? Like, what was I meant to learn? What was I meant to understand? And that's when Saturn is going to get activated and you'll get the truth about all of this. Which for some of you, I mean, having Judgment on the bottom of the deck, maybe you're trying to get a bird's eye view at this point in time. Maybe you do want to see, maybe you're ready to face your feelings. Some of you too, you can like have something going on with Saturn transiting personal planets, or you can have something going on, if this has to do with another person, you can have something with Saturn going on in your synastry with them too. I guess something about having to face the truth and how, where, what you maybe like imagined for the scenario versus what the reality of the scenario is, those being two different things, and it's like time for them to be combined with one another where only the truth remains, and it feels like it's an avoidance of bringing that together. And having Knight of Pentacles here in this space, I feel like there's active avoiding. Like, I'm just trying to pretend that this isn't happening, and I'm just trying to keep building and keep doing whatever, knowing in my heart what this really is, but my actions are saying otherwise. So you can even feel kind of like split in two right now, because as far as your deeper wisdom, you already know what all of this is, but I'm seeing your actions not matching that awareness that you have because of wanting to be like, it's not happening, it's not happening. Like, if I keep my eyes closed and I just keep doing this, it's like, maybe it'll go away, kind of like that here. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting and tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.